All right, and David, as we're on this, President Bill Clinton is reprising his role as defender of President Obama in an exclusive interview with you, David Gregory, airing this weekend on Meet the Press. The former president laid the current turmoil in Iraq at the feet of the previous administration.
The former Vice President Dick Cheney said of President Obama in an op-ed that claims that al-Qaeda is decimated is clearly not true, that in fact al-Qaeda is on the march. The argument that America is less safe under President Obama. Do you believe Dick Cheney is a credible critic on these matters?
Well, I believe, if they hadn't gone to war in Iraq, none of this would be happening. So I think
it wouldn't be happening in Syria. There wouldn't be.
Well, it might be happening in Syria, but what happened in Syria wouldn't have happened in Iraq. Iraq would not have been, in effect, drastically altered as it has been. But Mr. Cheney has been incredibly adroit for the last 6 years or so, attacking the administration for not doing an adequate job of cleaning up the mess that he made. And I think it's unseemly. And I give President Bush, by the way, a lot of credit for trying to stay out of this debate and letting other people work through it.
But David Gregory, some would say it's unseemly for the former president to criticize George W. Bush for starting an Iraq war that he supported himself.
Well, I mean, and his level of support at different times, certainly the 2004 quote that you're referencing, I don't know that I'm familiar with. Let me just say that.
Well,
but he certainly talked about the threat.
David, no, it was obvious. He supported and said publicly he supported George W. Bush in the Iraq War.
Right, and he obviously agreed as well with the intelligence about Iraq and the nuclear threat, the potential that was believed at the time that Iraq posed. Look, he'll also be countered by others who say the idea that sectarian strife throughout the Middle East, in Syria or in Iraq, was somehow started by the Iraq War is also misguided, that there was a lot of that was happening and it took a brutal dictator to keep a lid on it.
And boy, it is a complicated web that Bill Clinton brings to his wife's campaign if she runs in 2016. We saw it even not just with money, but with Iraq, a war that he was for before he was against it.
I mean, she voted. I mean, I think her position on Iraq is probably more complicated than his.
Well, his just got complicated.
I just read a quote from 2004 where he said that he supported President Bush's invasion of Iraq from the beginning.